Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sounding Smart channel. My name is Alexander, and we actually have a special guest today here on our interviews. You might know him as DeroVolk. DeroVolk is actually a prominent contributor in the field of anthems, and he's actually been one of my first viewers here at Sounding Smart, and it's definitely a great honor to actually have him here. The mystery behind the man will slightly dim down a little bit, but you know what? Why not keep that mystery, most of that mystery, out and about and alive as well? So, DeroVolk, it is an honor to have you here.
Hello, Alexander, and everyone listening. Thank you very much for inviting me to your channel. It's an honor to be here in this series of interviews with members of the Anthem community. I hope we can have a great time.
You know, it's just I got really excited when you actually said yes. This is something I've always wanted to do. I spoke to David Kendall of nationalanthemsinfo.org. He was really excited and he
Great
can't
guy.
wait. He's a great guy. You know what?
Indeed.
All Canadians are great. They're always the nicest people. But yeah, I mean, I'm really excited. So you know what? Let's go ahead and give the viewers what they want and see what's up. All right.
Okay.
So first off, I wanted to know, what is your background? Do you have a background in history or certain music? Anything at all?
To be honest, not at all. I actually don't have any college degree in history or things like that. In fact, I studied business administration, which doesn't have anything to do with what I do. And I'm currently doing a master's degree in digital marketing. But since I was a kid, I have been interested in history, music, curious things, science, and stuff like that. It is true that at one point on my life, back on my high school days, I planned to study history. But then I changed my mind because I thought that I could have more job opportunities to studying another thing and letting history and music and that for my free time. And that is what I currently do. I also have other hobbies like vexillology and heraldry. But in fact, I'm not really good at the study of those fields. I have a lot to learn yet, but I really like them. And like David said in the previous interview, there's a huge union between vexillologists and anthematologists and other researchers, which I find very interesting. And apart from that, I also have other hobbies like playing the guitar. Well, at least I tried because I'm not very good at it, but it's really fun. And I am also passionate about. I don't know how do you call it in English, but in Spanish it's called numismática, which is the study and collection of banknotes and coins from all countries of the world. Perhaps I should make a video about my collection one day.
Absolutely, absolutely. Especially just when it comes to all of these the study of all of these I would say this nationalistic symbols when it comes to heraldry, vexillology, and according to David Kendall, it's anthematology. I feel like they're all in just one giant bubble of a field. We see so much of vexillology, which is fantastic to
Indeed,
have that.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah, and I actually just got into heraldry because of my job, working in a museum. But also, but what was unfortunate is we don't really get a lot of anthematology. I think,
especially in the academic field.
Especially in the academic field. I mean, there are educational work out there. There are papers, but I feel like they're mostly just focused on just nationalistic symbols in general.
Yeah.
Because there are some works that I actually cite in my research, but I feel like we just need to make it grow. Because people, for a lot of us who actually do enjoy the anthems and everything. It's I don't know. It's kind of a sense of pride. Is a sense of where music
Indeed,
really
that is
just
what happens to me.
it gets you
You listen to
going.
an anthem and you get the feeling, that you get the sensations about pride, about the culture and national identity of the country.
Yeah, and that's the thing exactly. It's to listen to listen to a nation's history through its
Indeed,
anthem.
you
Yeah,
say it right.
yeah, and just to be honest, what just sparked it for you? What was the interest behind it all?
Hmm. I don't really know exactly what sparked my interest in national anthems, but I am sure that it was at one point during 2007, watching videos about military parades and that things. I remember that I found a military parade video about the Soviet Union. You know that those videos are very famous on YouTube, and
Yeah,
it had a
I think
recording.
doesn't there's like one channel that really just focuses
Indeed, yeah, I know that
just
channel,
that.
just that. And I remember watching that video and said, "Wow, this is amazing!" And because that video had a recording of the Soviet national anthem, and one thing led to another, as you can imagine. I discovered that all countries had a national anthem, and I started to investigate. I was 12 by then, if I'm not wrong. And well, of course, I knew the existence of national anthems when I was a kid. In my case, I learned the national anthem of Chile when I was in kindergarten, and that was the first one that I learned. And then we moved to a school. Then my family moved to a town near Santiago, the capital of Chile, and I went to a school that was founded in honor of some French scientists that made lots of contributions to the study of nature in Chile. And that school had a French class. They teach us French. So one day, the teachers showed us the lyrics of La Marseillaise, and we learned how to sing it. And if I'm not wrong, it was some kind of collaboration with the French class and the music class. I'm not sure at this moment, but I think it was something like that. We also used to sing other songs in the music in the music class, like folkloric songs, patriotic songs, which was kind of fun now that I look back onto it. Well, at the time I didn't like to sing at all, and I still don't like it because of my voice. But but it was fun because the teachers teach us patriotic songs and folkloric songs from Chile, but also from Easter Island. You know, their Rapanui culture, and we learned how to sing the famous Rapanui song called Sau Saureva, and I still remember to these days. But anyways, going back to the question. The other thing that sparked my interest in national anthems was football.
Okay.
Because, every time that there is an international football match between two countries, they have a ceremony of national anthems. So every time that Chile played, I also listened to the national anthems of Peru, Argentina, Uruguay, Venezuela, and it was really cool because back on the day when these matches took place, there was always a military band on the stadium that played the national anthems of both countries. And this was really common in South America but the tradition has been lost after the Brazil World Cup qualifications. No, now they only use digital recordings, which is sad. But the worst thing is that by FIFA standards, the national anthem of a country can last only 90 seconds. And that, of course, for European anthems, for example, there's no problem at all. But anthems from other continents, especially from South America, it is a huge deal. And you can imagine that some anthems have a length of 4 minutes, like Uruguay's. Um, and you cannot sing the Chilean national anthem in 90 seconds without making a horrible cut in the music, for example. And I think that it is also a bit disrespectful, a disrespectful practice towards the national anthem.
I agree.
Of a country, yeah.
I agree.
Because in the anthem, in the middle, it's just something that doesn't make sense to me. But in the old days, a military band used to enter the stadium in several countries, not only in Chile, and play the national anthems. And as you can imagine, the anthem ceremony is one of the most passionate moments of a football match. And I think that thing added value to the ceremony. And that is pretty much how I got interested in national anthems.
Yeah, I have to be honest. I agree with you when it comes to kind of that regulation that FIFA has, because I mean that was the one thing. Like I had to watch the match in the beginning at the very start because I always wanted to hear.
Yeah, I never miss
those anthems. I never miss it. I mean, especially for me. Even when I was a kid, I mean, I told this to David a while ago. Is that my interest started when I was a kid. I was, I knew the national anthem of the United States, but every September when it was Mexico's independence, my grandparents and I we would go to the screen in the evening and we would watch the main presidential square of Zocalo, and and everyone would be singing the national anthem of Mexico, and that was my
Mexicanos el grito de guerra.
Mexicanos el grito de guerra. Yeah, and and I liked it. It was one of those and I didn't realize where David Kendall actually put this really well. He separated into a category which matches all Latinx American speaking countries, mostly in Central and South America. He categorized them into Latin American epics, and these are specifically Latin American epic anthems that usually are like 8, 9, 20 stanzas long. They have different range of emotions within the score.
Indeed, it is really fun how you can put emotions in that length.
It's fascinating. And to have it in stuff like Mexico's and Chile's and Uruguay's and Argentina's, it's mind blowing. And when I was a kid, I just it just clicked. Like, wait a minute, if the United States has an anthem and Mexico's, then there's a whole other world out there that I want
to discover.
Explore. Yeah. So and just that stayed dormant for a while until high school, where I really invested more and more and more, and just out of nowhere sparked the interest of starting videos. It never really got around until 2014, where I just made like rough draft videos of the history of national anthems.
Yeah, I remember those videos.
Yeah, like you were my first viewers, one of the very first viewers.
Yeah,
I got excited.
And now we are here. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's really great. It's like talking to an old friend, catching up over the years.
Yeah.
And speaking of, when I got into this kind of community, I didn't realize there was hundreds of us. I mean, I thought there would be a few people out there, being the internet, there's always these different communities that you can relate to, but it's massive. Not as far as, vexillology or heraldry.
Yes.
But I mean, there are a decent amount of people who actually have some admiration for this kind of field. In that case, do you have any kind of opinion about the anthem community? Do you see it growing? Is it stable? Do you feel it's kind of slightly going away? What is your take on it?
Well, regarding the Anthem community of YouTube, there are amazing people. But to be honest with you, my opinion has some kind of changed during the course of years. At first, I think that it was a small community of full of cool and beautiful people. I met lots of friends. In fact, Kingward 30 is a great friend of mine, and I have never seen him in person. Slavishan too, and the three of us meet up in 2009, I think, and we spoke via MSN Messenger. And then we meet Yusuke Nodera, Balkanin, and the others, and so on. But yeah, the community has experienced a huge growth since 2015-16. There are still great people. Don't get me wrong, but there is a part of the community full of political extremists, haters, people that have no idea what they're talking about, and that is sad. That is very sad. And I think that this also had an impact on the channels. And I'm talking about YouTube, not other platforms or fields. I don't really see that much original content and style these days. New channels tend to copy other channels, and the majority of time with poor results. And the result is a huge list of channels and videos with poor content and quality. This is because I think that now people focus more on the quantity instead of the quality of creating a new visual style, and put lots of effort in the videos. And yeah, I also that was one of the reasons why did I make the video about the I don't remember how I called that video, but it was about channels that deserve more recognition because they were creating original content with a new style, like yours, for example. But yeah. So going back to the second part of your question, yes, I think that the community will grow, but I would like to see that grow accompanied by the creation of new channels with original ideas and new visual styles. And in other fields, for example, the academic field, I am sure that it will grow. I don't know what are your views on this?
Yeah, no. When it came to the extremists, it really clicked how very delicate this community is. It's very fragile. Just something like that could just shut the whole field off. And in reality, it's we are here, especially you, mostly you, how you are uploading all these videos, historical anthems. Some of these anthems have had a
dark background.
They have a background with a lot of indifference, a lot of different kinds of movements that really don't meet to 21st century standards of morals and etiquette, but they are there for a reason. It's to educate what was then and how we have improved as a society.
As a society, yes.
Yeah. So I mean, so was that pretty much? I assume that's basically why you made these anthems, is simply for education's sake. Yeah, this is a kind of history that should not be erased, but categorized, saying if it's there, we need to see it. This is for researchers. This is for educators. This is for everyone.
Always with an educational purpose.
Yeah. I mean, your first channel, I noticed was deleted.
Yeah, it was deleted.
Yeah. So I mean, you had so many followers that actually valued your work. Was just what happened? I mean,
well,
was it for that reason? Was it just people focusing on those anthems for kind of?
Yeah, I'm sure it was that. But the fall of the original channel of DeroVolk hit me hard because years of work were lost in just 1 second. And the thing was that, according to YouTube, my channel promoted hate speech and violated the YouTube community guidelines and hate speech policy. If the channel had been deleted because of copyright problems, it would have been okay. Yeah. But this reason makes absolute no sense to me. And I say this because I contacted YouTube several times with no answer to ask for a review about this issue. And they never contacted me again. They didn't want to do it. And I'm totally sure that the reason of why did they this, what is because the German videos. As you can imagine, I include in my channel videos about World War II and songs from that time, not only from Germany, but also from other countries.
Yeah.
And as we live in strange and crazy times, context, it looks like that it doesn't matter anymore. Things are always black or white. There is no in between. And of course, those videos were just intended with occasional purposes. As I said, I never endorsed that ideologies or views against certain group of people. That is just horrible. People used to tell me that I was a white supremacist and stuff like that. When I am not even white, you know. And then on the other side, people were calling me a communist for uploading videos of Russian songs. Total nonsense, as I said. And that is basically the reason of why the original channel was deleted, in my opinion. I never received a clear explanation from YouTube. Well, let me tell you one more thing, which is kind of funny. I still receive on my Gmail account notification of copyright claims or disabled features warning about videos from my original channel. I am talking about new notifications. For example, we have logged your video about the national anthem of China in the following countries. So I don't know. It is strange, and I don't know if they are joking or what.
I mean, yeah, that is just so unfortunate. It's just it's mind blowing. Have you thought of the thing is, it's like you don't want to turn off the comments because I know that YouTube comments are, they're well known to be a mess, the disaster. I think it was even my my very first video I did on the anthems. I think it was Russia's. It was a rough draft of the history of Russia's anthem. I had a racist comment on me. And for me, that was a rite of passage as a YouTuber. Yay, my first hate on YouTube. I've done it. But I mean, in reality, I mean, oh gosh, that's when
it doesn't feel good at all.
It doesn't feel good. It definitely doesn't feel good. But again, that's just I mean, that's a stranger. I mean, he didn't make any impact.
He doesn't know anything about you.
Doesn't know anything about me. I mean, who gives a shit? But yeah. But one thing I did realize because of that is there are going to be people who will be abusing videos like yours to invoke some kind of movement from olden days. So,
that is the bad part of uploading those kind of videos.
Yeah. This is kind of a side topic, but I follow the vintage wearing community, where we wear vintage clothing.
Yeah.
Where it's because it feels good. You feel good. It was functional, this and that, and
very stylish, very nice.
We're stylish. But this one famous vintage dapper wear, Dandy Wellington, stated stated a motto that fits perfectly to I think to those who are focusing on national anthems. It is the motto is vintage, kind of vintage style, not vintage values. But in this, say, it's kind of you're taking some of the great stuff from that time, but it
Yeah.
doesn't mean you need to take out the values and some
What is behind of it?
Yes, and I feel like that's what we're trying to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it looks like that there are people that don't share our views on that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think of those, like, Ian Berwick, you, Lord Dane, Kingswell 30. They are we're here to really invest in this field, simply for the sake of education. And if it is a shame that that because there are people who trying to abuse the path we've paved the way for, that something like what happened to you just happened. And I think, like, right now we need to call on those who really are invested in heraldry, flexology, anthematology to really there is a community out there, and I think we need to just help each other in just calling on those people who are trying to abuse us for that sake.
I agree. I totally agree.
So I'm calling on viewers. Yes, I know the comments are a mess, but report anything that seems abusive. I mean, of course, that doesn't mean to not leave room for conversation. Of course, but if you see, I know for those devoted fans from all of us who really want us to continue our work, just keep a sharp eye out. I mean, and we'll try to give you as quality of content as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of quality content, yeah, your videos are perfect with the amount of quality content. I mean, I think
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, essentially that's what I was trying to aim for, is give as much quality as content as you have. I mean, that's what I've had a couple comments or a couple messages say, well, why are your videos taking so long? Why are they taking about 2 weeks or a month, sometimes a month and a half? It's the quality of content.
Yeah, exactly. That's the pay. That's what you have to pay to make original and content with quality.
Yeah, it's it's the amount of research, being sure that I don't get banned from another country from traveling, and it's just it's a lot. It's definitely a lot. But I mean, other than your YouTube channel, are you doing anything else that involves the field of anthematology?
Other than YouTube, I don't have any projects with Anthem related topics. Well, I also have a blog where I post articles about these things that I don't know if you have seen it. It's DeroVolk.blogspot.com. The problem is that I don't have that many time to dedicate to it now these days.
Yeah.
As I said, I'm studying a master's degree, and I am also working in a software developer company. So I need my free time to, hang out with my friends, play video games, play guitar, do other things instead of being in the computer every day.
Yeah.
But I hope that in the near future I can dedicate more time on that. I wouldn't call myself an anthematologist like David and Kimwell 30 and other people, because I don't focus that much in the background of the majority of the content that I upload. I'm just kind of a person trying to contribute with my little grain of sand to a bigger collaborative project, if you can call it that way.
Well, for me, I think you're an anthematologist. Like I said, you are actually contributing into, for the sake of the education of many people on anthems of the past that have long been missing, that many educators can actually look back to and really highlight. Especially for me, I go back to your anthems. I go to your videos to see what anthems were before and everything. So you're definitely a great contributor, that's for sure.
Well, I could call them myself an anthematologist because of now that you mentioned the research that I made on the Moldovan Socialist Republic state anthem, and now the Karelo-Finnish SSSR. That was a whole story. I don't know if you have seen it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It is amazing.
It is incredible.
It is a rabbit hole. Once you enter in the rabbit hole, there's no skip.
You can't go back. You
Yeah.
just cannot. And I think that's mostly like the intention of anthems, is to really hold people together, come people together, in this sense of just being focused on like a sole purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for us, it's just to continue that education. Um, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, this concludes our interview, but honestly, do you have anything you want to say to our viewers who are watching and listening to this interview right now?
Well, first of all, Alexander, I wanted to thank you again for having me in your show. I hope that we made an interesting conversation that our viewers can enjoy. I also want to say thank you to each one of my subscribers and viewers, because I never thought that my channel was going to become the biggest national anthems channel on YouTube. It was a great honor while it lasted, and I will never forget it. And YouTube stated that they couldn't give me the silver play button because my channel did not create original content. But in the end, I think that it doesn't matter. The biggest prize of all was the support that I received from the community. And after the fall of the original channel, only true friends and added channels helped me out to continue doing this. I wanted to make a special mention, if you allow me, to several members of the Anthem community, like King of 30, Slavisha, Yusuke Nodera, Balkanin, Wolf, Dr. Ludwig, Anthem's Therapy, Getchan, the Flag and Anthem Sky, and many others, many others. Thank you for being there. And I don't know if I have mentioned this before, but perhaps one of the biggest things that I'm grateful for are some private messages that I have received during these years from people around the world that they have shared histories of how my channel helped them to get interested on this topic in these topics, or how the music helped them during difficult times. That is just amazing. It blows my mind to think about it. And I also remember that the time when this little girl and her fathers reached to me online to ask for help, because this girl was going to travel around the world singing national anthems of the country that she was going to visit. Capri Everett was her name. I think that she was from Canada.
Yes, I've been meaning to interview her too. But, I guess something happened, but I would love to.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
She made lots of appearances on TV and the internet. So I'm glad that I could have helped her in her voyage. If I am not wrong, she was doing this in order to collect money to donate to a charity organization. It was really nice. So, Alex, I'm not going to bore you anymore with my stories.
No, it was really engaging.
Thank you thank you again for this. And if you need anything, you know where to find me.
Well, and for those who want to know what you're doing, do you have any social media that they could follow you on?
I use YouTube, Facebook, Discord, and my blog. All the links for those platforms are in the information tab in my channel. And also a big shout out to my patrons.
All right, everyone, go ahead and follow DeroVolk on those social media sites. I'll go ahead and link them down in the description below. This is Alexander Sounding Smart. I am here interviewing DeroVolk, perhaps the most prominent host on the Anthem videos in YouTube in the field of anthematology. His contributions mean so much for the sake of the education of the history of national anthems. So go ahead and subscribe to DeroVolk if you haven't. Thank you so much, DeroVolk. And everyone, go ahead and subscribe to Sounding Smart. We also just opened up our Twitter, and we also have an Instagram as well. So we'll go ahead and follow up on any questions you have of your country coming up. We'll have Argentina, which we actually just started recording right now. And so the editing process is going on. Followed out with Armenia's national anthem, and with Australia's. So thank you so much, everyone. Go ahead and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.